Hey, I just thought I'd give a bit more context to the post I shared the other day about certain physio I was dealing with down in Wellington with the Hurricanes in 2017. I'm not going to name names. It's not about naming and shaming. It's not about any of that. It's not about personal grievances with anyone. It's more about the message to me. So I'm hoping that gets across here. Maybe to players that are coming through, or to young fellas that are in similar positions that are injured, or feeling like their self-worth is a little bit less because they're dealing with injuries. And so it's 2017. I'm dealing with this physio who's sort of playing games with me a bit, and giving me snarky comments here and there, and really playing games with me in terms of how he's communicating to the coaches about me, how he's relaying, I guess, my who I am as a man to coaching staff, and my return to play from my broken leg. So I'd suffered that the year before in December of 2016, November maybe 2016, playing Mitre 10 Cup against Auckland in the quarterfinal. But yeah, I'd broken my fibula, I think. So I'd broken that. I was coming back from it. I had a return to play program that I was doing professionally, vigorously. I was training hard, so I wasn't involved with the preseason as much, like on the field running. So I was doing more like circuit trainings, rowing, watt bike, assault bike, body circuit training, stuff like that. For anyone that has to do that sort of thing, it's a little bit isolating, because you're not out on the field making connections, especially in a new team environment. You're not making connections with the boys. You don't get to show off who you are, and that's a big part of who I was as a rugby player. I like to show off how hard I would train and how fit that I was. Didn't get to do that, so you're already feeling less of yourself, and you're in a new environment. Just trusting the professionals and what they're doing for you. So the reason my broken leg was so delayed in my comeback was, so they had told me that I need to be training. My first training back from a return to play program, I'm out on the field sprinting doing a bronco, and they're telling me, yep, you're training today, you're doing a bronco. And I'm like, whoa, like that's a bit, straight into a bronco, from no sprinting anything to just straight into hissing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna smash this. I'm going out there, I'm smashing it. I'm coming first or second, or maybe Geordie Barrett's beating me, or maybe I'm beating him, and then he starts to beat me at the end. But I'm getting a pretty good time, like maybe, and this is off the back of doing no running. And then that week I come back to do my first sort of contact training, and bang, my leg just goes, and I'm like, oh, what was that? And I'm getting a bit dramatic, going, oh man, like my leg, my leg. And I'm storming off the pitch, and I go up and I get my leg rechecked. I get it x-rayed again, and it's a delayed union in the bone, so it's still fractured, and I'm training. And the thing was, before that training, I also didn't get cleared from an x-ray to see whether I was good to train or not. And so now it's not making sense to me. Like, I wasn't even healed. I had a delayed union of the bone, and I hadn't been x-rayed and cleared to return to play. He just sort of said, oh, nah, it's all good, you're going to train today and do the bronco. And I'm just like, now I'm thinking, like, this is mind-blowing. I'm just like, oh God. And then it comes up to the British and Irish Lions, where I'm said to return to play, and by this time I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And I'm just saying, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, because... So anyway, I'm getting this feedback about being a weak cunt, after doing a return to play program that's been prescribed to me from the professionals, the physios and the trainers, and getting called a weak cunt after getting injured, following and adhering to somebody else's prescribed advice that's a professional. Oh man, that rubbed me the wrong way. Anyway, past that now. I had that anxiety attack on the bus, and the British and Irish Lions were coming up, and that's something that only happens sort of these days every maybe 10 years, 8 to 10 years, maybe 12 years. I think the next one in New Zealand is 2029. So this was 2017, British and Irish Lions are touring, and I'm a chance to play. And so go to the Monday morning meeting, the team meeting, so everyone goes to it, staff, all the players, and we have a briefing for what the week ahead looks like. So I'm at that. I go and meet with the physio afterwards, and I'm sick as a dog. I can't go to the training, and I let him and the doctor know that I'm going to go home. And I tell the physio, I'm going home because I'm so sick. He sort of looks sideways and he's like, oh yeah, sweet as. So I'm like, yeah, sweet as, I'm going home, whatever. I have the day off. And then I come back on the Tuesday and I start warming up for my RTP, my return to play protocol that is set so that I'm cleared to go against the British and Irish Lions. And he sees me warming up and he sort of gives a confused look to me, and he walks up to me and goes, hey mate, you're not a chance to play this week, eh? And I was like, hey, what do you mean? I thought I was doing my return to play this week. He goes, yeah, that was scheduled for yesterday, so you won't be playing this week. And I'm just like, honestly, I'm trying not to cry. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's... So I, put two and two together and was like, oh, no wonder he was so all good with me going home yesterday. He's done a vendetta against me. So yeah, I've come off the field, and it's a delayed union of the bone after the X-ray, and so I'm set back for another at least 3 or 4 weeks. And I was just like, I was gutted, like absolutely gutted. So yeah, I'm trying not to cry. I'm going over and sitting down watching the boys train, and I'm just like, holy shit, like I can't believe this has happened. And the British and Irish Lions game comes along. It's it's a packed out stadium, and oh man, I'm sitting in the crowd watching the game and just going, why am I not playing, bro? Like I'm just like, oh, I've done everything I could to be able to play, and just because this guy's played a game with me, I'm sitting here watching a once in a lifetime opportunity to play in this game. I know it's not about the individual, it's about the team, but these are special moments that you miss out on. It's sort of, they can make or break you, a moment like that, But I'm sitting there watching a young fella take my place, a boy that was in the academy, and man, I was happy for him, but also just so disappointed for myself. And I was gutted, man. I was gutted. Even some of the things he was saying to the coaches just weren't true, and I didn't even know he was saying them until the end of year review when things were coming up. And I think the head coach wasn't even there for my end of year review. I don't think he wanted to talk to me, but there was one of the forwards coaches. He's just, I knew he didn't like me for the whole year. He liked me at the start, and then he went off me one day. He said something in front of the team, or criticised me in front of the team about, it probably wasn't big to anyone, but to me, I think he said to me something along the lines of, if you can't, I had a broken leg and I tried to help out with the training, and he said, you can't do that fully, just fuck off, mate, in front of the whole team. And I was just like, whoa. And his attitude sort of changed towards me that day. At the end of the year in the review, I found out it was because this physio had said X, Y, and Z to him. And then I just was like, what? That never happened, mate. And I had to explain to him that, that didn't happen, and he was judging me off the pretext of what a physio had told him. So I was unaware of that the whole year. I knew that his attitude towards me was off, but I didn't know why. And I found out at the end of the year review. It's like, bro, come on. In a professional environment, a lot of the rugby environments are set up like, a lot of the rugby boys come from similar backgrounds where they're really respectful to their elders. They are respecting of authority figures around them. So they're going to say yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir to anything that's being prescribed, especially dealing with professionals and they know what they're talking about. You've also got to be able to value yourself enough and know that your rights as a person, that all the professionals there are just employees of the franchise that's contracted you. So know that you have the right to stand up, I guess, and let people know when you're getting mistreated or misguided, especially by the professionals. You have every right to go to someone like HR or something and say things about your situation. So be confident in yourself to know that you are within your rights when you're being mistreated, misguided, or you feel like things are off, especially when it comes to your body as a professional athlete. You're entitled to say something or find somebody to talk to that you're not feeling comfortable and you don't know what the plan is, and people, are mistreating you. My advice to any young person coming through a professional sports environment, whether it be rugby, soccer, hockey, anything, cricket, is that nobody's above you in that environment. You guys are all contracted to the same franchise. You're contracted to the same people. You guys are just side by side employees of whatever franchise that has contracted you. So you need to be thinking about the people around you like that. Whereas, in a rugby environment, a lot of the guys have the same kind of background where, they're being brought up in teams that, have, really good environments, good elders to look up to and get a lot of knowledge off. And often the case is, a lot of the players are going to be yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, I'll do anything you tell me to kind of mentality. And when you're in a professional environment, it's not always like that. There are really good environments. There's good people in every environment. There's those people that aren't so good. So you've got to know that you have the right to stand up for yourself and to speak up when you feel like you're not being treated right. I wish I could have told myself that back then and really sorted it out, but that sort of didn't help the situation and made me feel more detached than anything, that I was getting played games with like that. Whereas like a new player to a professional environment like that, it's a big step. So you've got to treat yourself as a professional and value yourself, that you have rights, even if you're new. You're in this, everyone's the same in that environment. Everyone's employed the same as you are. Everyone's getting paid the same as you are. So you've got to invest in your interests and back yourself when you're dealing with people like that in an environment. And if you're going through any abuse like that, physios can play games, doctors can play games. There was heaps of good physios there too, and heaps. The doctor was the man. I'm not going to say his name. He was the man. But there was mean physios there. The thing is, I was warned about this certain this physio before I went there from someone that was in the environment before me. He said, bro, do not go with that fella. He'll play games with your injuries. He'll do this and that. And I just was like, oh, whatever, like, I'm going to deal with this fella, he seems all good. But yeah, that's exactly what happened, and yeah, I'm not angry about it, just finally, saying something about it and letting it out. And there's no malice in this. Like, I like that guy, that physio. I'm not going to say his name or anything. I liked him. He was all good. The only thing was the way that I was being treated by him was very unprofessional, and he actually made me feel, I let him make me feel like less of a man. And anyone going through that sort of thing, I know a lot of that stuff is, it's sorted now in all the rugby environments, and people are well looked after. They've got PDMs for every environment. They look after people and help them out with off-field things. But if you're one of those proud sort of people like I was, who's not willing to give any excuse to why you are where you are, in terms of not being able to perform or train, and you're just going hard and trying to do the mahi, you can speak out and say these things to someone you trust in the environment, even players. And to those young players out there, every week the coaches, the management, the physio, they're having meetings about you if you're injured, and the coaches are asking, what's going on with this guy, what's happening, how's his injury going, how's his training going. To young fellas, I would insist that you ask to be present at these meetings, so that you can relay back how you're going and how your progress is going, and let the coaches know that you're still involved, you're still keen, and that you're doing everything you can to return to play, be part of the team. Yeah, that would be one of my pieces of advice that I would give to a young player, is just inform people of how you're going. Don't always trust that the message is being given that you're doing everything you can, etc. Because sometimes in some cases, these sorts of things can happen. It was a mean environment, and so many good players in that team, so many good people. I just was not able to express and share myself fully as a player or a person, because of these things that were happening off the field, that I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to open up to people about it. So I just went in my shell a bit, and the season was a write-off. I just couldn't wait to be out of that environment. And as soon as I moved back to Taranaki, to my province, and played the Mighty Cup that year, it was like I just switched off and was like, oh, I'm back home. I can train hard and enjoy myself again, and play rugby with my mates. Whereas, I could have been doing that the whole year down in Wellington, but I was pretty isolated and didn't make many connections. I made a few friends and was connected a little bit, but I was sort of just meandering a bit, and I just didn't take that opportunity. Be present for these meetings. Make sure or insist that you're there when they're talking to the coaches about you, if you can be there. Or even talk to the coaches yourself and let them know how you're going. Go and knock on their door. Go and, put your best case forward, instead of just assuming that everyone is doing right by you. So, it's your body. You're using it to make money, just as they're making money as well, pretty much off you, because you're the main attraction of what brings people to the games and people watching on TV. So, invest in yourself, because that's sort of the environment of the rugby. Is like, if you think about it, everyone's part of the business. The players are the main attraction, what attracts the people, the fans, to go watch the games. And there's like sort of like a it sort of feels like you're the students at the school, and the rest of the staff, like the coaches, the physios, doctors and all that, it seems like they're sort of like the teachers and you guys are the students. Where in reality, like if I was talking to young players now, it would be to enter those environments knowing your rights and knowing that they're just employees like you. So you're just as valuable as they are to the franchise or whoever's contracted you. To those players that are in professional environments now, and you're injured, you've had a long-term injury, you're coming back, and you're dealing with this kind of thing, don't be afraid to go up to senior players that you look up to or that you trust, and just whisper in the ear, I feel like this fella's playing games with me, can you help me? Or reach out. I wish I would have reached out earlier when I sort of had the inkling that something was happening. I wish I would have reached out earlier to like a senior team member or someone that wasn't a staff member that sort of shit was happening, because it would have made my mental state a lot better. I would have, I wouldn't have written off the year, and I would have, I would have taken more opportunity to be part of the team, be my best self. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.